tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hey there, Z Nation fans.
You leave this house now!
Wait, what? Whoa! You know, I've never actually seen the music video for this.
It is amazing.
I had no idea there was actually, like, they did it. I guess they did that a lot.
So we want to start with Love as a Battlefield, but I guess the official music video has dialogue in it.
I mean, they did that a lot in the 80s. They do it every now and then. Anyway, hello, Z Nation fans. Welcome to another edition of the Z Nation AfterBuzz After Show. Tonight we are talking about Season 2, Episode 6, Zombaby Daddy. This show, let me go ahead and introduce my fantastic panel, because we have some really great guests tonight. First of all, Katie Cullen.
I am not a guest. Hi, all my buddies. You can find me on Twitter at Kiaxet. That's Kiaxet. We will be keeping an eye on the live chat somehow through the magic that our engineer will be doing, I suppose. And we're also keeping an eye on the Twitter hashtag ABTVZNation. If you have a question, if you have something fun to say, put it on there. You may get a shout out.
Yep, and joining us again in the studio, two wonderful, wonderful guests. We have Pisay Pao, who plays Cassandra.
Hi.
Played.
Too soon.
And Nat Zang, who plays 10K.
Hello.
How are you guys doing tonight?
Who are you?
I'm Megan Salinas. I'm your host. You guys can tweet at me directly at the Menguin. That's TheMenguin. How are we all doing tonight?
That about sums it up, I think.
Are we going to have to separate you two?
Maybe.
No. I'm great. I'm great today. It's a great day. How are you, Pisay?
I'm wonderful.
It's great to be alive,
It's
right?
amazing. Everything's great.
Everything's awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of a team.
I'm kidding. No. Everything's wonderful.
She was practicing that before the show, and I just died laughing. It was great. So yeah, let's talk about this episode. Initial thoughts, because obviously this is a very emotional episode. Much like the last episode, there are a lot of laughs. There's a lot of fun, and then it smacks you in the face with something really serious and sad. Mm-hmm. A couple times, actually.
I missed the laughs. Did you get some laughs out of it?
There were some laughs at the beginning.
Not a ton. At the beginning. The beginning.
Oh, yeah,
the beginning was really funny, and then the rest of the episode was pretty serious.
I don't know. I liked Warren slapping Vasquez in the face.
That was a good one.
Pretty great. That made me very happy.
Yeah, he needed that, didn't he?
Yeah.
He did.
No, their dynamic in this episode was really, really great, and I like seeing their relationship progress. Mm-hmm. But yeah, all in all, this the last couple episodes have just been like hitting us really hard. I really want to get Michael and Carl back in here because I want an explanation.
We can just start it off with "Welcome to Z Nation." How dare you?
I think they would sit there and be like,
Carl loves it. He just sits there and he's like, all the things I'm making people feel.
Your tears are so delicious.
I heard actually that when he wrote that part about Cassandra, that he just busted out laughing. He was just like, like I did. Daniel told me that. Yeah, that he was just so excited. You know, he loves messing with our emotions. That Carl.
I just picture him like sitting at his computer and it's really quiet, maybe some ambient music, and then just bursting out in maniacal laughter.
That's exactly what happened.
We need a clap of thunder behind that, just like yeah,
like right above his head, like a little cloud. Yeah, he's a genius.
Let's go ahead and get into it because This is going to be tough. But like I said, the episode actually opens with some really hilarious, a lot of really great visual humor, really funny visual gags. We finally get the Lincoln zombies that we were promised at the beginning of the season, which was really great. And probably my favorite new game is Hot Potato with Lucy.
Right? That was great.
Did you get to catch her?
I never caught her, no. Oh. I think it was just Doc and Addie and Warren.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
I love that it started off almost as football with him holding her and the hand out in the generic quarterback position.
Yeah.
And
failing to control the zombies, if you notice.
Yeah, Murphy's losing his mojo a little bit.
Yeah, I think it comes and it goes. It seems like. I don't know. I mean, I don't really know the reason behind it.
Hashtag Z Nation Science.
I think that's still to come.
Yeah.
It might be tied into like actually being emotional for the first time, like because he just lost Sarah, somebody who he was unexpectedly attached to. So it might very well be a mental thing.
Yeah.
Or it might be that being attracted to the cries of a baby overrode
That's true.
whatever control he might have had over them.
Especially a magical zombie baby.
Yeah. Magical. That sounds like a unicorn.
That may have been a siren call.
Yeah.
It is, and I kind of, it was actually really funny because at one point when he's changing her diaper, the zombies were nice enough to sit and wait.
Like the little zombie animals.
The little critters. Yeah.
All the zombies that were hanging around, they were just like, no, we'll wait. We know it would be rude, so we'll just wait.
None of us want to mess with that.
We know how hard it is to be a single dad, so we'll just take our time.
Or maybe it was diapers. They were like, we're zombies. We don't want to get near that.
Right.
That was the not wanting to mess with that part.
I think the idea too is that he thinks that the zombies are trying to attack him, but maybe they're just attracted to Lucy.
I always thought that like they, I thought they were trying to like Lucy would be like their queen, like they're trying to protect her almost. Like,
that could be it. We've never
Although
really
they seem to be after her, but maybe that's just their way of showing affection. I don't know.
Well, like when a zombie is drawn to something, it's going to shamble after it in the same way that it would be shambling after like food.
Exactly.
Sure.
So there's no real way to tell whether they're trying to get her to like rip her apart or if they're trying to get her to make her rise up to be their zombie queen.
And there's no way to know until it's too late.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's true.
Even for poor Murphy. But
that man.
I do like the way
oh, poor Murphy.
Poor Murphy. I mean, again, it's really tough being a single dad, right?
All the decisions you have to make, especially during the apocalypse.
I know. It's already tough enough being a parent, and then being a single parent on top of that in the zompocalypse while your DNA is in the process of mutating.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff to put on a parent.
Somebody should write a book. Somebody should write that book right now.
Parenting
in the zombie apocalypse. But he also rejected the help that was offered, even though it was kind of an ulterior motive.
That's true. But, I mean, he did have reason to be suspicious.
That's also true.
Yeah.
Then again, it's Murphy. He's terminally suspicious of everything.
And he's still alive.
Well, he's a suspicious character himself, right? So, of course, he's going to be suspicious of everybody else, I think.
Yeah, can't trust anybody.
People who deceive have the ability to recognize that in
Deception,
others,
yes.
or know that other people have the potential for that, and people who don't just don't see it. So even if that weren't the case, he'd still see the potential for it because that's what he does. I mean, mail fraud.
Well, I think the other thing they talked about was just the fact that, now that he is a father, you do become overprotective. You do start imagining the possibilities of all these awful things happening to your child that, may not actually exist, If you think about just even regular parents nowadays, and the things that they try to keep their kids away from.
Yeah, no, it's so much different when, I don't want to say, your entire world shifts when you become a parent, but it does. All of your priorities shift, the way you see the world. You start thinking about other people in terms of their relationship to your child as opposed to just, how you see them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a different world for Murphy now.
But he also left his kid with the first nice hill folk that he found.
This season
has been Hill Folk in Houses, the show.
There is a surprising amount of people who still have their houses intact. That's
I think the reason that they're all the hill folk is because those are the people that are out of like the regular flow of society. So they're the only ones left,
and are self-sufficient.
Yeah, exactly.
It makes sense. All right, so let's talk about this moment where we see the gang together for the last time before they all split up.
Dun, 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 dun.
I know. I told you guys this is going to be tough. But we have Vasquez sneak away with his little backpack, and we know from the previous episode that he's listening in to radio signals, and so Warren decides that she's going to go after him because chances are he's in contact with the Zeros.
Yes.
And sure enough, that's who he goes to rendezvous with. So I want to know thoughts, like when we see him with the Zeros, was the general thought like, okay, he's been planning on stabbing them in the back this whole time, or was it more like he's actually conning them?
Because I'm not Zeros?
I'm not sure that I buy his story.
You think that he might be lying?
Oh, it seems a little too perfect.
Which story? The story about him and his wife and child?
Yeah. I am not sure that I buy that about him, because that's just one of those buy your sympathies. No, I'm not actually in with them. I don't feel like that was actually the case.
But then he was dying anyway, so he thought that he was going to die. He says to her, it doesn't matter.
And they did. I mean, they did. Like, they started beating him up right there. The Zeros did.
That's true.
Yeah. So...
But that could have been a deal gone bad, and that might have just been his excuse.
That's what I thought it was. Like, you failed us for the last time, a Scorpion. Wow, that sounded really sweet.
You have failed us for the last time.
Prepare to die.
The Scorpion said, "You're out."
Yeah.
And I mean, we've seen the way people are dealt with when they fail in this cartel. You know, it just because of a lack of patience, a guy can get shot in the head.
Say when.
You belong into a cartel, so anytime you have a group called the cartel, you know that the stakes are going to be high.
That's true. I'll be honest. I bought it. I believed him, but I still don't necessarily feel like he's being 100% honest. I still don't feel like we know a ton about him. And we don't know who was if this was the truth, we don't know who was responsible for his wife and child's murder.
Narrative convenience says a Scorpion.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you who you thought it might have been.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with
Emilio Rivera. Gonna probably, but you never know.
Seems like the most climactic ending.
Exactly. And I mean, what better way of getting revenge than asking the people he's currently with for help to take this guy down?
Right.
Makes sense.
We've got chat saying, Mikey Bag of Donuts says, I wouldn't mind if Vasquez gets killed off this season, with Manbot Mark replying, as long as 10K lives. Like, why are you calling for more blood? Someone just died. We are 6 episodes into this season, and we've had 3 characters die. We've averaged a death every 2 episodes. Why are you calling for more?
Yeah, this season has been rough. First with Mac, then with Pie Girl, now with Cassandra.
Wait, what?
What?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you didn't know? Yeah. I'm so sorry. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Oh, we just ruined the show for her, guys. I'm so sorry.
That was very sincere, Nat.
I'm really sorry about that. Yeah.
I bet you are.
I know.
I hate you.
I know.
Do we need to separate you?
Like, we can separate you two. We will pull this after show over and separate you two.
We're good.
Yeah, guys are good.
We're good.
All right, all right. Well, let's move on a little bit with. I personally really loved the scene with Warren and Vasquez because again, I love the way Michelle put it. They have this very, very deep respect for one another, and I think that has only grown in this scene. And I love that she actually really did try to save him, and she was when he stopped breathing, she did everything she could to bring him back. And it actually did scare me a little bit when he popped back up.
Right.
I was like, because it would not have surprised me at all if they had turned him into a zombie in this moment.
At that point, yeah.
Totally.
And how creepy was that hospital scene? Just trying to walk. That was one of the more
the blind zombie was so scary.
I loved the blind zombie. Yeah. That was my favorite bit from the hospital.
Yeah.
And
I love that because we never got to see that. We never saw that guy on set because we weren't there that day when they were shooting that.
Oh, so you missed that.
So I didn't see it live, so that was really scary.
Anytime I see bodies under covered up, it's like scary because you never know like really what's underneath there and whether they're gonna wake up and what's coming at you. So that was a really suspenseful scene for me too.
And that is why hospitals make the best haunted houses.
Yeah. No, it reminded me a lot of the lab scene from last season.
Yeah.
Only it was even worse because where the lab was like very dimly lit and anything could come around a corner. This had that light in from, it's broad daylight.
And they had all the things passing by outside.
Exactly.
And you thought it could break in at any second. Yeah.
Anything could come in at any moment and bust down the door, but then at the same time, anything could sit up at any moment. And there were just these really great shots of IVs and like blood dripping everywhere.
Yeah.
It was really good and really cryptic.
They're very exposed in that scene.
Well, and we've made it the worst possible scene. I mean, they've both been shot. They're both losing blood. They are both out of bullets. There was one left. There's things breaking in. There's things that are already in that are waking up. And then there's a blind one.
And they have to sew each other back together.
Yeah. Just like, okay.
Yeah. How else can we make this happen?
Well, we can do this. Oh, that's great. And what else can we do? Let's do this too. And then cut it together with scenes of things bleeding.
The only other thing they could have done to make the situation worse was literally lighting the building on fire. That is the only thing that could have made
I bet you Carl right now is like, that's a great idea.
Building on
Season
fire.
3, building on fire.
Flaming zombies.
Yes, exactly. Yep, I think you've given him another idea. Season 3.
Can I have a creative consultant credit, please? I will take it.
Can we be zombies? Can we do that?
He would say, yeah, we'd love to kill you. Come on set, we'd love to kill you.
Sure. Let's just road trip up to Spokane.
I'd be all for that. But anyway, so we kind of to get back to the rest of the group, Doc and Addie and 10K are all kind of huddled together, and they're trying to figure out, Warren wanted us to keep an eye on the kid, and we do have to kind of figure out a way. And even for the baby's own benefit, like, they want Doc to take a look at her, because apart from, like, tossing her around when there are zombies around, Murphy won't let anybody touch her.
And she's only had sugar water to eat, which is not good.
Yeah, probably not
She's
good for a baby.
She's also like a blue, like, fanged baby
that's currently chewing on a severed finger.
Yeah.
It's like a
there's
little
a few things to
pacifier.
worry about.
Just a few.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so like for her own benefit and for the benefit of the group, they want to just take a look at her, and that's when Murphy decides, okay, no, I don't trust you guys. I'm gonna go take a walk. Cassandra, keep an eye on these guys. Make sure no one leaves.
No one leaves.
Nobody leaves.
Lord.
Which you were doing a really good job of looking really intimidating. Not gonna lie.
We're getting
thank
into
you.
Batman octaves with that voice.
Actually, spoiler alert, a little like backstory. I was gonna say back action.
Inside tip.
Behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes. Little back action.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
That was a combination of my voice and the director Abram Cox's voice.
Really?
Yeah.
He does voices.
He does.
He does you should hear him just reenact all of Star Wars just with his voice. It's insane.
He's amazing.
He does all the voice.
Yeah. So we
Save that
nicknamed
for when
him.
he's on
He actually he also directs in voices. Like
He
sometimes
does?
he's like, I want this shot to be like
You're
and I'm
like,
just like
yeah.
Okay, I'll give you that. I'll try to give you that.
I'll give you
Use your words.
We nickname him because he came to, we had a little viewing party for episode 6, and once I found out that my voice and his voice had created this thing, we named him Baby Daddy. Voice Baby Daddy? Yeah, Voice Baby Daddy. Yeah.
Just blend his voice in with the rest of the performances all
Yeah,
season.
because I heard it and I was like, whoa, where did that come from? What did they do to my voice? And then Abram's back there like, I have something to tell you, Pisay. I'm like, please do.
But poor Addie, because she is just convinced that that Cassandra would never do anything to really hurt them, and 10K has been convinced for some time now that that's not Cassandra anymore.
Yeah.
He kind of has to. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, no. I mean, because they had a thing.
Yeah.
And now she's been irrevocably I can talk. Irrevocably changed by what Murphy has done to her.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, his friend has been changed permanently. And what do you do with that?
Like, you come to terms with the fact that she died, and then surprise, she's not dead. She's also kind of not alive either. We're not sure, but she's going to travel with us. Untangle that emotionally.
Yeah.
Have fun.
She's not going to talk to us. She's just going to sit there and growl. I think I'm okay with that.
Right.
And we have one commenter in the live chat going, they were being really obvious that they were planning something because they were all huddled together.
So true.
But I mean,
In front of Cassandra? I mean, yeah, but like, how many thoughts does Cassandra really have, you know?
Just one. Hey.
Right?
I've got a few.
well,
No one leaves.
Or two. Or,
Well-
okay, maybe just one.
what she was completely prepared to pounce. What was really cool, it was just this really cool, it's kind of like seeing a wind-up trap where it's like ready to spring at any moment.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. They all took off, and she grabbed Addie and made her scream so that everybody else came back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she
Yeah.
might not have a lot to say, but I think that her instincts were
no,
still very much
she
alive.
knew what to do to keep everybody there.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
she went for the weakest link. Sorry, Addie.
Well, yeah, I guess like also the one that would like, because like you knew that would like draw the rest of us back too.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well-
if it was
Which is
Doc, no one
interesting,
would
yeah.
come back.
Well-
Doc wouldn't scream like that.
If it was Doug. Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
If it was you, well, yeah, if it was you, they wouldn't come back. But yeah, you're right. I knew.
Well, I
that-
mean, it was me the second time. Remember what happened?
yeah, I know. Wait, no, what happened? I totally forgot.
Well, and to be fair, you guys have longer strides, so Anastasia's a little shorter.
It's true. She's also a very slow runner. It's true. She's a slow runner.
Wow.
She always say, guys, you have to run slower so it looks like I'm faster.
Or just as fast, or not slow. I didn't say it, Anastasia. Just remember, this guy said it.
It's
You're gonna be in
Have
trouble
fun in
next
this
time.
I know.
You know, she's watching this and just taking notes.
What is she going to say about you
on our
when
show?
she comes
We
on
do
the
have a lot
show?
of people taking notes on our show.
You do?
I'm worried about that.
No, Katie's just been saying everybody's taking notes. But so what we have here is basically round 2. They decide that they need to try again, and 10K says, "I'll take care of it. I'll do what I have to do."
You know, it is funny.
Great idea.
It's yeah.
Well, he's about the only one who can at this point.
Yeah, because I think, I think at that moment when like he decides to go over and talk to her, I think he knows then that he's gonna have to kill her. Even that last conversation that he has with her, like he's really just like, what he really wants from that conversation is confirmation that she's not a human and that he can and give him the go ahead to actually kill her.
I had no idea he was thinking this.
That
I
was
am
my-
shocked.
That was my stream of consciousness. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that makes sense because if there's any sign that she's there, he won't do what he's about to do.
Exactly.
But the fact that she didn't respond and was just parroting back Murphy's orders, that to him was like, okay, I got to do what I got to
yeah.
do.
Yeah.
The lights were on, but no one was home.
So, literally everybody who's been commenting, including Alicia Perez on Twitter, wants to know from you guys, what was it like filming this fight scene together?
This fight scene, it was really crazy. We got together the weekend before we were about to shoot it, and we went to the location, and we, with the stunt coordinators, and we choreographed that big like scramble on the ground.
Yeah.
It's just like, so that was actually like, it looks like really like, just like grabbing at each other in like a frantic like brawl, but it was actually like super choreographed.
It was, yeah.
So and which was great. So like we had
Could
like the
feel
mechanics of the movement down like the weekend before. So then we went in there and could just like, well, Pisay was being really crazy that day.
I love how you were just like, Pisay was. Well,
she was being really mean to me.
Did she destroy you?
She did. She was yelling at me and swearing at me.
Well, you made me do it.
Growling at me.
You know what was great is we had been talking about meeting up and practicing it, and I think that very weekend we get a call saying, "Hey, are you guys open to practicing? You know, your stunt?" And we're like, yeah, absolutely. And then they said, yeah, great, because it's kind of in a sketchy spot.
Right.
And we show up.
The thing is, like, the place we rehearsed it, they actually decided to change it because it was, like, too dangerous. It was, like, right by this cliff that went down into that big ravine pool. Yeah. You know the one that you see that I'm fishing in at the beginning? Like, that cliff up there. We were, like, right there.
Oh, yeah, how many feet was that drop? That's not safe. There was like exposed wire and like, you know, a fallen tree. And so we went there to kind of like practice, and there was like 5 camera phones going on at once.
We had Abram there, the director, and we had Daniel, and
Carl was there,
and our 2 stunt guys.
Yeah, so it was a really no pressure
at
all. But it was great because, you know, I think that up until that point, Cassandra and 10K didn't have a lot of screen time. So it felt like they cared as much about the scene as we did. And then come the day of the shoot, I was super emotional. I couldn't help.
Yeah.
But
it was an emotional day for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't be in the same trailer as him, and we're usually in the same scene together, so we get our hair and makeup done at the same time. I requested not to be in the same trailer as him. We took separate cars to set. There was a moment where we were practicing. We were doing like a run through. And, you know, Nat was just hanging out afterward, just like he normally does. And I turned to him and I told him to get the fuck away from me.
That was the start of it. We were rehearsing that scene where that was the scene where I walk up to her and I have like the final conversation with her, and she just gives me like the nobody leaves. We were like just blocking that, and like we had just finished, and I was just like still kneeling there, and she was like, "Get away from me now!" And then I looked at her like, "What?" And she's like, "Get away!" Okay.
So you're a method actress.
A little bit, and I think I pushed you.
For that day, for sure.
I pushed you a little bit, and Steve, one of the producers, went up to Nike, and he said, "Is she okay? She's really scaring me right now." And I'm like, "I don't know. What do you think, Steve? Am I okay?" "Yes, Steve.
I'm gonna die today, Steve."
I'm just
Would you be okay with that?
Steve?
Get it together, Steve.
I love you, Steve. Steve, our producer.
No, so you mentioned the last time you were on the show that you had to do a lot of exercise, since Cassandra's role was so different this season, that you had to do a lot of exercises to kind of get you out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Knowing that this was on its way, did they have you do any grappling classes either? Or was it all just the choreography?
Grappling.
What is that?
Like martial arts.
Oh.
No, it was just honestly, it was me and Nat saying, "Are you down? Down. Let's do this." No, seriously. You know, not every actor that we work with is open to that. You know, some people are, you know, naturally, genuinely like concerned about their safety.
Yeah.
But we were more concerned about getting the scene as good as possible.
And yeah, I mean, it was like there was like a few times where like there was like the scene where you jump. It was after you slam me into the rock, and I was running away, and you jump and slam on my back.
Yeah.
We did that, like, we could do the wide shot with the pads there, but then when we had to do like the tight shot,
oh my God.
it was just like me. It was just me and like the dirt and like this really like rocky terrain with all the pine needles everywhere.
Yeah.
And
Did
she
you
was
ask
like,
for a pad? No, we couldn't. You couldn't have one.
No, we couldn't have one. It was going to be in the shot. So yeah, and you slammed my face into that dirt.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
There was actually there was a few times where you were choking me, and I was like, I really can't breathe.
I'm so sorry.
He's just so casual about it. You choked me a few times.
You choked me a few times. Yeah.
Oh gosh. Well, there was that one scene too where we were running towards each other. And they were worried about us, you know, about us hurting each other. So
they were especially worried because you were being so crazy.
They're like, we don't know.
They were a little afraid that you were going to, like, really hurt me.
Which is like, You're like a foot taller than me.
I know.
Come on, guys, really? No, but they kept asking us to stop. They like run full force, and then right before you hit each other, stop. But we weren't like, they're like, but get closer and get closer. Like, well, what, can we just
literally
we're gonna
can't
actually
stop.
hit each other.
Yeah, can we just slam
Can we
into
just
each other? And they're like, are you
So that's
okay
what we ended
with
up
that?
doing.
They're like, but we didn't tell you to do that.
They're like, we did not tell you to do that.
But if that happens,
Sign this waiver form that confirms we did not tell you to do that.
Do we still have those paramedics on standby? Good.
Yeah.
Good.
That was our grappling
And they're
class.
taking them to
We
the not creepy hospital? Good.
Yeah, we just went for it.
I have to bring this up because this
Go
is my
ahead.
favorite comment in chat right now from Manbot Mark. Says, bring me back to life, Steve. Thank you. That's beautiful.
awesome.
I love it.
I do want to ask though, again, not knowing at all what's coming for the rest of the season, I felt like this confrontation, because we knew that at some point this was going to come to a head, but I thought this confrontation would be something more for a season finale.
Yeah.
Like that it would have been like they would have continued to build it up throughout the course of the season, and that it's the season finale when we would have gotten this confrontation.
I mean, we're not even at mid-season right now.
No.
But then who else would we have killed?
We're about at
We have to kill
mid-season, though.
somebody.
We have 15 episodes, right?
15. I guess we're not quite, no. But Carl has like a 6-episode deal. Like, we killed Garnett in episode 6 last year.
Yeah.
He's got like a
Sorry to bring that up
6-episode
again.
thing.
But we hadn't lost too. Well, I guess we did lose.
We lost Harold.
at the very
Harold.
first episode.
Yeah.
And
Who else had we
I
lost?
don't think we lost anyone else before
We almost
Garnet.
lost Doc, but that was again.
True,
He was
false
fine.
alarm.
It was a false
Yeah.
alarm.
Just kidding.
But yeah. I just it makes sense. I guess episode 6. He's just like, I want to make them cry every episode 6.
Yeah.
So if season 3 rolls around, we're going to be done with episode 5 and be like, okay, so who's dying next week?
Well, I bet you
Place
season
your
3 he'll have somebody die like episode 5 instead. Like everyone thinks
yeah.
like they'll be okay episode 5. Like nope, just
oh no,
kidding.
it'll be episode 7. It'll be like, you get
yeah.
through it. You're like, oh, nobody died. And you're like, ha ha ha.
And then like literally
first
10
5
minutes.
minutes, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's listening to this right now, and he's like, whatever they're saying, I'm not going to do. I'm taking notes.
So let's come up with every single possibility.
Carl, you monster. Carl. But we there are still lots of questions. Alicia Perez also wants to know what it was like when you guys got the script and you knew that this was what was happening, because you said last time that you were on the show that when Mac died, everybody was just kind of like, yeah, sure.
Right. We'll wait for it to happen.
Was it the same thing?
Well, we knew pretty early on how long you were going to be there.
Correct. Yes.
And so, and we knew, not as early on, but that I was going to kill you.
That's
And
also
then,
correct.
and that, and like, so we knew that pretty much going, like, before we even saw the script. So I was excited because I really wanted it to be a hand-to-hand. You know, I didn't want it to be like a faraway sniper shot, you know?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
That's not as
It's not
it's not as fulfilling.
exciting.
No, yeah. So I was
You all
super happy.
insensitive bastards.
You know, I was the only thing that I
Give
was
him a show.
I wanted to look a little stronger, maybe. Because it was like 90% like Cassandra just like beating up 10K.
Yeah. I was going to say, were it not for the boot knife,
I know.
this would be a very different story.
You never know with these guys, and for me, and maybe it was just me like wanting to continue on and like, you know, me being hopeful, but I do remember again calling Steve and then asking him poor Steve and asking him, you know, like, hey, you know, when can I prepare to leave Spokane? I love it here, but just curious in terms of like getting back home and that sort of thing. And he left me the best message. He's like, well, I think sometime around June, but it could be later. And he's like, you know, we haven't read the episode yet, so don't write yourself off yet. We're not sure. Basically, I'm telling you that I don't know. That was the message. It was like amazing. So, and then they gave us sort of like an overview of each episode. And when they gave us an overview of 6, Cassandra's death
It didn't
was
say it,
not
yeah.
in there.
What?
Yeah. So I mean, they
I
were
don't think
even sort
they,
of
like,
leaving
decided
it.
yet,
No,
yeah.
no. I don't know. Maybe they have it. They just didn't want to say it, or they didn't want to make a big deal out of it.
Or they might have still been on the fence.
Or they didn't want it to get leaked.
That could be it too.
Oh, smart.
Do things get leaked for this show?
Who knows?
I mean, aside from Carl spoiling
I was going
everyone
to
he
say,
can
it's
talk
Carl
to.
is the one who's leaking it.
Carl likes to talk really loud in Spokane restaurants.
Yes, he does. So episode 6, no one can find out about.
This is a
animated.
secret.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, as heartbreaking as the scene was,
We need another comment from Booze69 in the chat. It was like Old Yeller 10K had to put Cassandra. This is the second time in a week that we've had an Old Yeller joke in one of the shows that I'm on. So I'm particularly happy with that one.
boo.
Yeah.
But it is. I'm personally. I understand the need from a story point to kind of do this, but I'm still disappointed. Also from a story perspective, because Cassandra was so different, and I guess we do kind of have 2 other people we can look at to kind of go down that route.
Yeah.
But Murphy and Cassandra's relationship was a very interesting dynamic that they had going on. And I was very interested to see where that would progress. So I'm disappointed on several levels.
Well, thank you.
We also had a lot of unanswered questions about her condition, especially with the Z-weed.
Yeah,
and I don't know
exactly.
if we're out of Z-weed at this point or anything like that, but it looked like it made her more lucid when she was on it.
Right. And they just kind of gave up on that, though.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
No, because we were asking Michael about that, and he's like, "You'll just have to wait and see." You lied to me, Michael. What camera am I looking at? You lied to me, Michael.
Wait, what camera are we looking at? I want to glare with you.
I don't know, but anyway.
Everyone glare at the
But
wide.
yeah, there are a lot of unanswered questions, and granted, Murphy's still around, so we may get those answers with more people that he bites, but it's frustrating.
I mean, he's definitely. I mean, he bit Ma and Pa Kettle at the end.
That's
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
And they didn't. And so they could come back as well. And I'd be curious to see how
But they didn't turn out like Cassandra though.
Well, also because they were still very much
Because they were
alive.
very much alive when
she was at
already-
Jess's door, yeah.
Exactly. So, I mean, if it's any consolation to anyone, from what I understand, Cassandra was actually supposed to die in season 1. But they brought her back and extended her storyline. And people ask me about, like, do you want to come back? And is she still alive? Does she have a twin sister somewhere?
her hand's just gonna shoot up out of the ground.
Exactly. Oh,
Where did this twin
sent me
sister
that.
theory come from?
Somebody threw it out there. It was not me.
They did that in Heroes.
as well.
Remember?
Yeah, but they had
But
triplets, and that was
Heroes-
weird.
And Heroes was awful after season 1.
Heroes went shark jumping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Whatever serves the story. I want it to be believable for the audience. I'd love to come back, but not at the sake of it being an unbelievable story. Do you know what I mean? Like the whole Michelle Rodriguez thing and Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
How she's supposed to be dead and then
you're alive somehow.
Surprise! Bet you thought you'd seen the last of me.
right. Yeah. And I love Michelle Rodriguez, but I think that, again, for me, it's like whatever serves the story. It's the most important thing.
If it doesn't make sense, then there's no place for it.
Right.
There is nothing worse than sitting there screaming "Stay dead" at someone who should have died 3 fake deaths
Yeah.
ago.
Even by Z Nation science standards, there are limits. There are limits. So, before we move on, I want to talk to you guys really quickly about iTunes. Folks, thank you so much for everybody who's gone to iTunes to rate and leave a comment. It is the best way to let our bosses know that you guys like the show that we're putting on. Keeps the lights on in the studio, keeps us seated right here where we're at on the panel. And again, it just lets them know that you love watching us talk about Z Nation. And honestly, it's one of the funnest things I get to do on Sunday is get to talk about this show. So thank you guys for your continued support, and thank you to everybody who's in the live chat right now and everybody who's on the hashtag. Sometimes seeing your guys' conversations in the chat is way more interesting than anything I'm talking about.
Yeah, I love reading this. We didn't have this before.
No, normally we just kind of keep an eye on it on the iPad, but
That's what happens
yeah.
when the internet stops working.
I
We
like
get it on the big screen.
I like that comment. What if Cassandra is immortal?
She just like pops out of the.
There is some artwork out there where I think like her hand comes out. I'm back.
She's never really gone as long as we remember
like
her,
a
you guys.
little-
She'll always be alive in our hearts.
Oh, I think we'll remember her for multiple reasons.
Well, thank you. Then I did my job.
But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about Murphy a little bit. Poor, dad doing baby's day out. It's not it's very endearing to see him try to be a good father.
Yeah.
But and like most parents, he doesn't know what he's doing. And in the context of the zombie apocalypse, it's even more overwhelming.
But I feel like Murphy is less equipped to do this than your normal person.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Well, because when you become a parent, you need to put other people before
Right.
yourself.
He's a little selfish.
That's a weird concept for him.
Yeah.
Put what? Who before what?
Who?
Me? Huh?
But it's all about me. The show's about me, right?
Hello.
Someone in chat thinks we've forgotten about Mac. People forgot about Mac. No one will forget Cassandra. We haven't forgotten about Mac, you guys. That was traumatizing.
Excuse you. We
Jeez,
have not
dudes.
forgotten about Mac.
Also, hello, Brooklyn Showtime. Thank you for watching. So it's our first time here. So, hey,
hello.
welcome to the party.
But so back to Murphy. Again, he's doing his best, but he comes across this very, very nice, well together put house where he comes across Ma and Pa Kettle, and those are just adorable names. But we should probably mention that Pa Kettle is played by D.C. Douglas, who, for zombie fans out there, he plays Wesker in the Resident Evil franchise.
He has been on Twitter being very, very happy about being in Z Nation.
Yeah.
Like, just continually talking about it. He's over the moon for this show.
It's such a small world because his girlfriend actually helped coach me into this scene.
Really?
I know, right? And then so to find out that he's worked with Asylum before and that he was going to be in episode 6, it was such a small world. She actually came to the viewing party. He was working on something else, so he couldn't make it, but it's just such a small world.
Well, he opens the door with a shotgun immediately. It's just like, yep, ding dong, Avon calling.
It's the apocalypse. It's the apocalypse. You have to do what you got to do.
Exactly. I'm sure a
I
lot of
have a
people don't knock on
feeling,
his door.
I have a feeling he opened the door like that before the apocalypse.
Get off my property.
His name
What
is
do you
Pa
want?
Kettle.
Yeah.
No solicitors.
And I just,
Exactly.
I loved the exchange about, what'd you say? Damn zombies. You better come inside. What'd you say? Just like, thank you for acknowledging how ridiculously loud guns are in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
yeah, that was a good little tidbit.
But I actually really liked this interrogation scene too, because just saying like, hey, I was with a group and I just didn't trust them, like that's not an excuse that really can fly in the zombie apocalypse, because it's like, no, because you have to be so wary about everybody you come across, because everybody's had to do something awful to survive.
Right.
So I like that they didn't just take him at face value. But when he was like, hey, you guys seem like good people, could you like raise my daughter? And the mom was all for it. I was like, I don't know if I would be on board with that. Like, zombie baby aside, just like a regular baby in the zombie apocalypse, that's a lot to ask someone.
Yeah.
I feel like, well, for one, this looks to be a fairly stable couple, which you don't see many of those, except for in episode 1 where we saw a whole family with a goat and everything. But it seems like they're the type of family, especially the way she was reacting, our little angel from heaven, all that fun stuff, makes it sound like they have tried to have a child and
Yeah.
are
I was
not
thinking the
able.
same
That was
thing.
definitely the subtext that I was, and I think that actually, I think that subtext was actually written in the script when we had it too. It was like she had been like, it's clear that she's been trying to
have a
they've been trying to
child.
have a child.
So this would seemingly be a miracle for them.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
That makes sense. But then they actually get to see the baby, and it doesn't sound like a dream come true anymore. It sounds
She's
like a
got
nightmare.
fangs and sounds
Right.
like a foghorn and...
Well, what surprised me is that they didn't think something was wrong with her the second they looked at her. It was only
Well, they
when she
didn't see
actually
her, though.
cried. No, she held her. And
And it was only when she
cried-
opened her mouth and they see
Yeah.
her little baby
I
fangs.
saw the fangs. Well, it also seems that a lot of people like don't notice that Murphy is blue.
They did
notice
He did
it
ask
is.
about that, and Murphy's
He did.
excuse.
Vitamin deficiency.
So maybe they were just like, oh, she's got a vitamin deficiency too, just like her dad.
She's
that
only
what he
been
said?
eating sugar
Vitamin
water.
I mean,
That is what he said.
If people,
gosh, yeah.
if people eat too much carrots, they turn orange a little bit, I think.
No, that's actually happened.
Yeah,
My
what
mom
you
knew
eat.
someone in college that happened to.
That's hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure what you'd have to eat to turn you blue, though. You're turning violet, Violet.
just eat the gum in Willy Wonka's factory.
Exactly. So then he asks a favor of them, and we cut away, and the next time we see Murphy, he's rejoining the group, and he doesn't have the baby, and he says, you don't have to worry about it anymore.
Which makes it sound like he killed her.
Yeah.
I think that's what he wanted it to sound like.
Exactly, and that's what everybody suspected too, because he walked away.
Well, we
without
thought he was going to do
taking
that anyway. Yeah,
without taking any food, although we find out afterwards that it was just him not having a plan.
Yeah,
it's just like, oh yeah, I guess I didn't think that through.
Yeah, again,
Slow clap for
surprise. But I thought he did that because he was bitter. Like, don't worry, I got rid of her.
I also think he did it to
like want her around.
To like spite them. After
nobody would try to find her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that everyone would think she was
dead. If
dead.
they think she's dead, they're not going to go try to find her.
Yeah. And then also, if he came back and Cassandra's dead and he's actually genuinely upset about it, he would of course say something that would also kind of want to like be a barb into what they're doing. Like basically like, you caused this.
Yeah.
This was all you're doing.
Yeah, had I not had to leave because you guys were devising some kind of plan, Cassandra could still be alive.
Exactly. And we actually had a few comments on Twitter as well, asking about Murphy's reaction. He was basically like, because Murphy reacted in the way that they did, were Murphy and Cassandra genuinely friends, or was it more like
it's also like it's like somebody shooting your dog, yeah. Right?
Like 5 people on Twitter have said that, so I'm glad you brought that up and not me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's a comparison you love.
So the question was how...
Yeah,
like,
were they actually friends,
like?
or was it not a mutual relationship?
I think it was a very unique relationship. I think that Cassandra felt very tied to him and was very close to him, but not necessarily like on a mental level, but more of like a chemical level, because because he bit her, so she kind of had his... what is that, DNA, in her bloodstream. And I think that he has an affinity for zombies. He doesn't want to kill zombies, and he, I think, saw Cassandra sort of like a zombie, and so the fact that she got killed, I think it's kind of what you were saying. I don't know if I compare it to like killing your dog, but
right,
just a companion, somebody that has been protecting you and has been by your side however many months, however many states that you travel through.
Also, he kind of created the Cassandra that we see in season 2.
She was kind of like his progeny in a way.
Yeah.
I gave her life. You have no right to take that away.
Exactly. Yeah.
That was creepy.
It was creepy.
Spitting out the number at 10K.
Yeah.
That was just ooh.
You know what?
Speaking of which,
that line was not written. He wanted to do that.
He wanted to add that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it the right number?
I don't think so.
It's canon now.
I don't know.
Necklace, it should be.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell them about the necklace?
So I had a viewing party, and David Latt, who is the co-founder of Asylum, the production company that shoots Z Nation, brought me a little gift, and it's a beautiful gold necklace, and it's in the shape of a road, like a road sign, like
like the Z Nation sign.
Yeah, and on it says 3,255.
Aww. Knowing that might not be the right number is actually really sad.
It's the right number
I'm just gonna take this necklace off now.
Like if 10K had corrected him, actually it's...
Actually,
well.
that would have been so good. But when you said, actually, it's this number.
Actually, it's 4,232.
Yeah.
It's 3257.
It's like no, 56.
But that was very... I mean, it's both very funny and very sweet that they got that
It
for
was super sweet. Yeah, very, very sweet. We killed you, so here is a little momentum to remind you that we killed you.
To pay your way into the afterlife.
But, I mean, that number is important, and they will always remember that number moving forward. No one's ever going to forget that.
You're going to remember that number? 3,000.
3,250. I'm honestly the worst at remembering the numbers. Like, there's been so many times I've had to, like, redo a take because I just say the wrong number.
What number am I on again?
A billion.
Yeah.
He's never going to make it to 10,000 with that attitude.
We had someone in the chat, and it got too far up. I can't see it anymore, but we had someone in the chat theorize we'll get to 99.99 and then 10K will die.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
That's what everybody says, yeah. That's what he says.
How dare you?
I would like that not to happen, but I can appreciate that.
Well, speaking of, we should probably go ahead and move into predictions real quick.
Yeah.
Oh, nope.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll just talk
We
about
will
this.
eventually.
There they go.
I predict that it will happen.
Now, your AFTERBUZZ TV.
This is always so like.
No, the light
love the
show.
light show.
It's my favorite part. All right, so moving forward, I'll be honest, I did not get to see the promo for next week. The recording cut off.
Yeah,
before I could see
There
it.
wasn't one.
There wasn't
Really?
one. Okay,
Exactly.
I feel
So you
better.
didn't miss anything.
Me too.
I thought I was just missing something. Okay,
Yeah.
so we have nothing to
Oh,
go
really?
on.
Huh.
Yeah.
But moving
Why?
forward.
I don't know. But moving forward.
Moving forward, we have the group, and Vasquez is still alive. He's still very much a part of the group. And Lucy is now in the hands of Ma and Pa Kettle, who are totally content with being being parents to this zombie abomination and/or future queen of destruction, as Warren put it. And they are probably still on their way south. South is probably still the direction that they have to go because of the fallout. So, Katie, what are your predictions for where our crew is going next?
I don't think we're going to see Lucy until season finale. I think that's going to be finale territory, if not kicking off season 3. Like, I think we're just going to keep that in the back pocket for a good long time. I know at some point we are going to keep going south, and again, when I do guest booking, I get spoilers because some people like to send me things.
Carl.
Carl. So I feel like I can't say too much because I don't know what's
Oh, so
actually.
you know who's
pub-
on next week?
I knew that someone. I guess I know who's on next
It's
week.
very exciting.
But I knew that
wanna
someone
know.
was going to die this episode because I was straight up told in an email, we kill someone in Scene Ancient Passion in episode 6, and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me,
That's
stop!
upsetting. That's
man.
upsetting.
I was gonna watch it anyway, you don't need to tell me these things.
Well, and the last time I was here, you guys were like, "Tell me you don't die," and I'm like,
This is
Yeah.
my weekend. This is why you're a good actress, because we all took you at face value.
"You guys believed me?"
Yeah.
I left thinking like they totally didn't believe me. Oh my god! They're like, "She's gonna die next. She's next."
It was when I got emails from other. Oh, who do you have on for 6? Who do you have on for 6? Oh, they'll have a good episode. Oh, they'll definitely have something to talk about. And I'm like, oh God, last time that happened.
Hey, I mean, that's
Thanks,
the danger
Carl.
you run into when you do guest booking, and same thing has happened to me for other shows. So I feel your pain. It's okay.
So I have no predictions because I do not know what's public yet.
I hear you. I completely agree that Lucy is going to go onto the back burner for a little bit, and that moving forward, I still think that the El Scorpion is our main threat for the rest of the season.
Well,
and
we
whether,
have Lorena coming up, the queen.
yeah, that's going to be a lot of
Did
fun.
they announce who plays
right.
her?
Not yet.
I don't know.
Not
It's,
yet.
I think it's on
That's great.
IMDb.
Gonna be good.
Is it? Yeah. She's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, can't wait. Well, thank you guys so much for taking the time to come down and chat with us about tonight's episode. It was a blast. Do you guys have any upcoming projects that you can talk about before we go?
Go ahead, Pisay.
Well, we're both going to be at Milan Comic Con in Italy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
That's
then
gonna be
I'm doing
fun.
Germany. You've got a couple coming up as well.
I've got a couple Comic Cons. Yeah, I'm going to Daytona Beach in a couple weeks, and then to Rhode Island.
And we might all be rendezvousing in New York. I know you and Anastasia are definitely
Me and Anastasia are going to go there. Yeah.
rendezvousing in New York. Yeah.
Sounds like
Yeah.
fun. Well, where can people go if they want to keep up with all the projects that you guys are working on?
I'm on Twitter at Pisay Pao, and same with Facebook.
Yeah. I am on Facebook, and I'm on Twitter as Zatnang, and I'm on Instagram as Nat Zang.
Fantastic.
So,
Katie,
yeah.
where can people go?
You can find me on Twitter, Tumblr, and Instagram at Kiaxet. That's Kiaxet. I am also on Snapchat at Kia Prime. I am on so many shows here, including X-Ray and Vav. The season finale after show is this Monday at 7 p.m. And Ruby's coming back in a couple weeks, you guys.
Can't wait.
And Muppets. Zach's our engineer, and he also wants me to announce that I'm on Muppets on Tuesdays.
So good. All right, guys. I'm Megan. You guys can follow me on Twitter at the Meng and on Instagram at the Menguin. That's TheMenguin. I'm also on a bunch of shows here at AfterBuzz, and be sure to tune into the This Week in Movie News on Tuesday nights. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Again, thank you guys for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having us.
Our pleasure. We will see you all next time.
Bye.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
No one leaves.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.